Introducing first, it is from the red corner, Chad Hart! And his opponent, he is the NAWA Big Time Pro Wrestling Texas
champion, baby!
Champion,
Like we want to
Chris Germany!
Texas, baby! Let's do it! Woo! Right here, baby, who's the Texas champion? Right here, baby! One more time!
Chad Hart, you had confided in me you had something to say to Chris Germany about your matchup this evening.
I confided in you? When did I confide in you? Here's what I gotta say. You don't impress me, Chris Germany. More importantly, Waxahachie does not impress me. I said last month that I know Ric Flair. I know the Nature Boy. Woo! Woo! And when I look at you, I see someone that looks pretty tough. But I'm telling you right now, I can whoop you. And if there's any chance of winning a title and being something here, then I gotta pump someone like you and smack you around. And I'm gonna do it right here. I'm gonna make everybody out here like it.
Chris Germany, those are some pretty heavy-handed words. Do you have anything that you'd like to say in response?
You know, not everybody in this arena knows how well I know you, Chad Hart. I've known you for over 20 years, son. I remember when you were the little fat kid coming into the locker room, just wanting to hang out and maybe have a little popcorn with the boys. Okay? Now listen, this is what does my heart. This is what hurts my heart, son.
You wanna fight?
This is what hurts my heart. Is that I practically trained you, kid. And this is the way you're going to treat me after what your daddy meant to me. And you're going to treat me like this? I'm not going to stand for it, son. I don't want to have to hurt you. And you got a choice, Chad Hart. You got a choice to make right now, son. Now listen, you can wrestle the way I know you can wrestle and get in here and wrestle and follow the rules. Or if you're gonna get nasty with me, son, like you did with Kick Hart last weekend or last month, I am gonna hurt you, son. I don't wanna have to do it. Don't make me do it, Chad, because I don't wanna do it.
Come on, brother. Come on.
Well, Nigel's seems like the gauntlet has been dropped. Chad Hart with a lot of boastful comments, name dropping a little bit, challenging Mr. Germany.
Well, I've got to say, Bull, it was really a little bit unnerving to be standing between those two tigers as the tension began to mount. And you can tell from the expression on Chris Germany's face that he is going to be all business in this ring tonight. Ooh. Slap to the face by Chad Hart. And a backhand.
And a backhand to Chris Germany. Collar and elbow tie. Chris Germany pushing Chad Hart back into the corner post. Chris Germany breaking clean. Chad Hart coming out with his dukes up. I don't know. Maybe he thinks he's Muhammad Ali or something. Chris Germany turns it a little business, and Chad Hart beats a hasty retreat away from him there.
Chad Hart with a little bit of smart tactics there, sliding outside of the ring just enough for the referee to have to force the champion Chris Germany back.
You know, I understand Chad Hart has been training and learning the style of the mixed martial arts, the UWC style wrestling. Has got quite a bit of background in professional wrestling. Has a bit of an amateur background as well. Shame that he can't put his talents to better use.
Well, sometimes, Bull, that's exactly what happens with someone who has that much talent. They get the feeling that they're better than everyone else, and so they're going to go out of their way to try and prove that superiority.
You know, Chris Germany gave Chad Hart an option at the beginning of the match, and there in his interview said that Chad could have it however he wanted it. He could wrestle like a professional, or if he wanted to get rough, that Chris was more than happy to get down and boogie with him. So far, can't quite tell exactly which direction Chad wants to head with this, but I do believe that Chris Germany is man enough and competitor enough to do exactly what he said he was going to do. So Chris Germany reversing the hold on Chad Hart. I can hear Chris Germany tell Chad Hart, "Listen, son, if you want to wrestle, we'll wrestle."
Well, it looks as if the superior experience of Chris Germany is definitely paying off. Although the spit and fire of Chad Hart certainly is adding some credence to this young athlete's abilities.
You know, like I say, Chad's a very gifted and talented wrestler. Smart enough to know exactly where he was in the ring, and when Germany started tightening the screws to him, he knew exactly where he needed to be to get to the ropes to break the hold. So
Chad Hart with an anaconda choke reversed it into a side headlock. Sent to the ropes by Chris Germany, and Chris Germany just deflected him like a bullet bounces off bulletproof glass.
Chad Hart with two shoulder tackles to Chris Germany. Don't think that worked out quite too well for Mr. Hart.
I think the Soviet destroyer would say in Soviet Russian, shoulder tackle tackles you. Little bit of grandstanding by Chad Hart.
You know, and I can understand grandstanding if you've done something, but I hadn't seen Chad doing much but lay on his back so far. Another collar and elbow tie up. Germany pushing Hart into the turnbuckle. Chad Hart reversing it on Chris Germany. Chad throwing a right and Chris blocking it, and blocking in another right of his own. You know, it seemed like, I can't tell, Nigel, but I think Chad's made the decision that he wants to play a little rough tonight.
That is exactly what it looks like, and it looks like our champion, Chris Germany is more than willing to, as they say, throw down.
Well, you know, they don't call him Cutthroat Chris Germany for nothing. So he can definitely do dirty with you if he wants to.
Looks like there's a small modicum of fans who have started a Chad Hart chant. as once again he seems to, I don't know, it's not quite as light as Muhammad Ali. No float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. But
Chris Germany with the bill of Chad Hart out of the corner. Now stretching Chad Hart, hooked his arm, got his arm hooked, leg scissors around Chad Hart's head, got him tied up kind of like a pretzel there, Nigel.
That's exactly what it looks like. I don't know what I'd want to call that. It's almost a short arm bar, but not quite. A little bit of wisdom on the junior man's behalf as he rolls Chris Jeremy into a position for a pinning opportunity. Coming.
A big strong power out there by Chris Germany. Chad Hart trying to cover Chris Germany, rolling over and breaking Germany's hold. Gets on him for a pinning combination, but Germany didn't want to have no parts of that. Almost threw Chad Hart completely out of the ring.
If it wasn't for the fact he grabbed the ring, I think that right now Chad Hart would have a little bit more than dust from the floor on his back right about now.
The way Germany threw him, I think it'd have been about 3 or 4 deep in the spectators out there. And once again, Chad Hart going to the top of the rope, and Chris Germany taking advantage in a body and a big body slam off the top rope.
Beautiful work by Chris Jeremy as he throws him to the ropes. Lovely clothesline taking him right down to the ring, and Chad Hart looks a little bit dazed as he dragged to his feet by Chris Germany.
Germany into the turnbuckle, shoots Chad Hart off in. Chad Hart just smart enough to be able to move out of the way. Germany following up with trying to drive an elbow into the kisser of Chad Hart. Chad moved out of the way. High knee lift into the midsection of Chris Germany. Chad Hart climbing up on the second rope. Series of punches to the side of the head of Chris Germany.
And a very mean throw into the turnbuckle.
Nigel, I thought I saw the ring move about 3 or 4 inches on that one.
Certainly looked like it as Chad Hart went diving hip first right into the face of the champion. Ooh. And slammed Chris Germany down to the mat with a little bit of up and down from the turnbuckle.
But Germany still with the wherewithal to kick out on a 2 count before the referee could count a 3.
Well, that's one thing to say about anyone who carries the strap. If you've got the championship belt, that means you've got ring presence. That means you've got a clear presence of mind, and you know how to handle yourself when in the ring, even amidst the worst of conditions. Looks like a sit-down abdominal stretch. And looks like a Conda Vice with leg scissors. And then straight into the rear naked guillotine choke. Chad Hart with a little bit of presumption on him, just grabbing a hold of the rope, regardless of the fact that referee James is right there to inspect the hold.
Chad Hart breaks the hold himself. Now crawls up on top of Chris Germany. Again, some shots to the head of Chris Germany. Almost with no regard to trying to get a pin. You know, the name of the game is wrestling, and the object of this whole thing is to try to pin your opponent's shoulders to the mat. Doesn't look like Chad Hart has any indication that he wants to try something like that right now. I think he's trying to prove to Chris Germany something, maybe, that maybe he is as mean and as nasty as he says he is.
Well, it looks to my eye like Chad Hart is actually trying to prove that he's every bit the wrestler that Chris Germany has said that he's not. He has gone from submission hold to submission hold, just trying to prove the quality of his technical wrestling, even if he has to every once in a while use a moments of leverage from the bottom rope.
Well, you know, and it may be the smartest thing that Chad Hart's done, because I think at the beginning of this match, he found out pretty quickly that he wasn't going to be able to roughhouse with Chris Germany. He wasn't going to be able to stand toe-to-toe with him and battle him with shots to the head and with his fists. So he had to do something. He had to be smarter. Chad now using his technical background, his amateur background, to inflict some damage on Chris Germany.
Off the ropes into a double axe handle.
Chris Germany still strong with his kick out. Not quite a count of 2 on that. Now Chad Hart with a leg scissors around the head and neck of Chris Germany, cutting off his oxygen. It's like Chad Hart's taking the opportunity while he's applying the pressure to Chris Germany's ears to entice the fans a little bit, maybe.
Well, I think it's more answering all of the derisive jeers that the fans have been giving to Chad Hart. They have certainly taken exception to his attitude, to his I know people better than you demeanor, and, well, simple disregard for the NAWA heavyweight champion.
Is that a Bahamian death roll that Chad Hart was doing to Chris Germany?
It may very well be, and it looks like Chad Hart has had very little regard for referee James, as he's been admonished a number of times for using the ropes either as leverage or anything else for that matter. And it looks almost as if, you tell me, Bull, has Chad Hart finally worn the champion down? It looks like Germany's got a little less steam in the engine.
You know, yeah, Chris Germany, a tough competitor, but Chad Hart with the series of holes and the series of submission holes that he's had. Oh goodness! Oh, Alan, can we see that again? What a devastating clothesline! Oh my goodness! I felt that over here in the announcer's booth, Nigel. Oh my gosh!
Oh, I'm gonna have to go see a chiropractor tomorrow after that match.
Oh, what a shot! Chris Germany with a count of 2. Chad Hart barely able to kick out. Showing a little moxie now. Able to get up and get to his knees.
Looks a little.
Chad Hart's still a little bit woozy. Chris Germany woozy as well.
Chad Hart went for a kick. Couldn't get it off. Rake to the eyes on Chris Germany. Small package and kicked out.
Chad Hart going up to the second rope. Chris Germany.
A fist to the head, then a slap, then another slap. Dazed Chris Germany. All the way up to the top, high risk.
Chad Hart with a frog splash off the top rope on to Chris Germany on only a count of 2. Chad Hart now taking it into his hands to play a little roughhouse with Germany. Got the champion dazed a little bit, got him back on his heels. And now he's going to try a little roughhousing with him. Chad Hart shooting Chris Germany into the turnbuckle. Oh! Goodness gracious me. What a kick by Chris Germany into the face of Chad Hart.
That just flattened the challenger. The champion had more gas in the tank than I think anyone expected at that point. Reversal by Chad Hart. One for a kick and a stunner.
Both wrestlers down on the mat. Referee's counting. Got a 10 count on the mat. Chris Germany rolls over on his hands and knees. Chris Germany finally able to get back up to his feet. Over to Chad Hart. Pulling Chad Hart up. Oh!
Well, it looks like Chris Germany telegraphed that back body drop. And Chad Hart capitalized, gave him a DDT for his trouble.
Chad Hart now taking a prone Chris Germany and giving him some knife edge chops, laying him flat on his back on the canvas. Germany with a kick out. Chad Hart with a kind of a lackadaisical cover, didn't nook his leg. Chad Hart up to the top rope. Germany woozy and reeling. Flying crossbody off the top rope. Chad Hart covers for a 2 count. For a 2 count only.
Surprise small package by the champion. Chad Hart kicks out at the last possible moment.
Tough, hard-fought match on both competitors' parts. Oh!
Looks like Chad Hart went for a little bit of rolling victory. Instead got met with, I believe that was a flapjack facebuster.
Looks like a flapjack facebuster to me, Nigel. Chris Germany over for the cover. Count of 2, and Chad Hart able to have the ring presence in his dazed state to get his foot up on the ropes and break the count.
Looked like a quick thumb to the eye. Didn't seem to interfere.
Oh! Chad Hart ducking a clothesline, hits the ropes and comes back and it's a double clothesline. Again, both combatants down. Both men down in the center of the ring. Chris Germany with the cover. Chad Hart with a kick out.
Only two. Only two.
Only on the 2 count. Only on the 2 count.
Looks like Chad Hart is going for a little bit of a choke. Didn't want to hear that from the referee.
Chad Hart, I guess, tired of hearing the referee complaining. What's the referee gonna do? Referee disqualifying Chad Hart for his touching the referee. Chris Germany with some shots to the head of Chad Hart.
And it looked as if Chad Hart might have actually taken the pugilistic intent towards referee James.
Chad Hart hooking the ropes. Chris Germany ready to clean his clock. And Chris Germany, Chad Hart hooking the ropes and taking the gentleman's way out, I guess.
Still your Texas Heavyweight Champion, Chris Germany.
Chad Hart, I'm going to teach you a lesson, son. Out of the goodness of Killer Tim Brooks' heart, he's going to give me one more match to teach you a lesson and give you a chance to come over to the right side, all right? So it's one more chance next month.